When disaster strikes and you're suddenly forced from your home, leaving behind everything familiar, your first priority isn't food, or water, or even contacting loved ones, it's shelter. It's about finding a safe haven. Without immediate protection from the elements, from the scorching sun or the biting wind, your survival odds drop drastically, and they drop fast. Hypothermia, a dangerous drop in body temperature, can set in within just hours, even if the temperature isn't freezing. Cool temperatures combined with wind and moisture can be deadly. Shelter, even a basic one, shields you from rain, keeping you dry and preventing heat loss, wind, which can quickly sap your body heat, and the relentless cold, providing a crucial barrier against the elements, giving your body a fighting chance to conserve energy and stay alive. Remember, you can last for weeks without food, and several days without water, but only a matter of hours exposed to harsh weather conditions. Shelter in a survival situation is about survival, plain and simple, not comfort. It's the critical first step that allows you to think clearly and plan your next moves, like finding a source of clean water, or effectively signaling for help. Unfortunately, many people get this crucial point wrong, focusing on accumulating gear and packing rations, but completely forgetting the most fundamental of basics, shelter. Of course, your home is your primary shelter, but if that's compromised or gone altogether, you absolutely need backup plans in place. This doesn't necessarily mean building a remote cabin in the woods. It could simply be having an agreement to stay at a friend's place, or even more importantly, knowing how to quickly improvise a shelter virtually anywhere. The key is to proactively think about shelter options you actually need them. When you're forced to leave everything behind in a hurry, your absolute first thought, above all others, should be, how do I immediately get myself out of the direct path of the elements? Food and extra gear can absolutely wait. Your very life depends on finding and staying protected from the weather. That first night exposed to the elements is a critical test of your overall preparedness. And it all starts with quickly finding or making a safe place to ride out the storm, whatever form that storm may take. Shelter in that moment is your immediate fortress against the dangers of the world. Prioritize securing it above absolutely all else. Always remember this crucial point. In a survival situation, shelter is life itself. Everything else, without exception, comes a distant second. Preppers obsess over gear and food, but shelter often gets overlooked. Why? Many assume they'll never lose their home or that emergency services will provide. But in a real disaster, resources are stretched thin and abandoned buildings are risky. Building or finding shelter takes skill, not just money. Relying on others is a gamble you can't afford. Without shelter, you're exposed. Hypothermia, heat stroke, and misery follow fast. All your gear is useless if you're too sick or demoralized to use it. A simple, well-chosen shelter spot can mean the difference between a rough night and a fatal one. Shelter is the foundation of survival. Shift your prepping priorities. Practice shelter skills, not just gear hoarding. Imagine your car breaks down in a blizzard, or your home is unlivable after a quake. Those who know how to create shelter have a massive advantage. Don't let shelter be your blind spot. Make it your strong point. Your life depends on it. Finding yourself unexpectedly out in the wild with minimal gear can be a daunting situation. It's a scenario where quick thinking and resourcefulness are your greatest assets. Stay calm and assess your surroundings. Take a deep breath, try to quell any panic, and systematically observe what's around you. What resources are available? What are the immediate threats? Your immediate goal should be to get out of the wind and rain. Exposure to the elements can quickly lead to hypothermia, making it difficult to think clearly and function effectively. Equally important is getting off the cold ground. Direct contact with the earth will rapidly draw heat from your body, accelerating the onset of hypothermia. Look for natural shelters, opportunities the environment provides. Consider overhanging rocks, which can provide a barrier against rain and wind. Seek out dense trees where the canopy can offer some protection from the elements. And explore dry ditches, if they appear safe and stable. If nothing natural is available, improvise a lean-to. This is a simple, effective shelter that can be constructed with minimal tools. Start with a strong branch as a ridgepole, the backbone of your shelter. Then, lean smaller branches or debris against it, creating a framework. Finally, pile on insulation, such as leaves, pine needles, or other available materials. Keep it small to conserve heat. The smaller the space, the easier it is to warm with your body heat. But make sure it's big enough to lie down in comfortably. You need to be able to rest and recover. Face the entrance away from the wind to minimize drafts and heat loss. Insulate the ground with leaves, grass, or cardboard, anything to create a barrier between you and the cold earth. Aim for at least 6 inches thick to provide adequate insulation. If you have an emergency blanket, use it with the reflective side facing in to reflect your body heat back towards you. Every layer helps to trap warm air and keep you insulated. Think like an animal. Observe how they seek shelter in the wild. Aim for a shelter that is snug, well-insulated, and simple in design. Don't build a mansion. Elaborate structures take too much time and energy. Speed and effectiveness matter most in a survival situation. Your shelter's primary job is to protect you from the elements and keep you safe and relatively comfortable until morning. Practice these techniques before you need them in a real survival situation. Try building a debris shelter in your backyard or a local park to get a feel for the process. See what works well in your environment, what doesn't, and build your confidence in your abilities. Hands-on experience is invaluable when it comes to survival skills. When a real emergency hits, you'll be ready to act decisively and effectively. Don't try to improvise for the first time when you're already under pressure and stressed. Execute your plan with confidence, knowing you've prepared for this moment. Cold kills. Hypothermia can strike even above freezing, especially if you're wet. Make your shelter small to trap heat and block wind drafts. Huddle with a partner for warmth, wear all your layers and keep your head covered. Dry insulation, leaves, grass, even cardboard can be stuffed into clothes. Rain is your enemy. A waterproof layer over your shelter is invaluable. Build on higher ground and dig a trench to divert water. Layer natural materials thickly for a shingled roof. Wind strips away heat and can destroy weak shelters. Face your entrance away from the wind and use natural windbreaks. Reinforce the windward side and weigh down tarps with rocks or logs. Even a small reduction in wind chill can make a huge difference. Remember cold. Clean, overheating, avoid, loose layers, dry. These principles, plus a solid shelter, give you the best shot at surviving a cold, wet night. Work smart, not just hard. Urban survival means new shelter challenges. Abandoned buildings are risky, structurally unsound, hazardous, or already occupied. Look for less obvious spots. Under bridges, away from water, alcoves, loading docks, or sturdy bus shelters. Overhead cover and wind protection are key. Cardboard is your friend. Use it for insulation and ground cover. Stealth matters. Avoid high traffic areas, set up late, leave early, and keep quiet. No fires, minimal light, and always have an escape plan. Construction sites may offer tarps or plastic, but be cautious about trespassing. Sometimes the best shelter is a simple garbage bag bivvy with cardboard insulation. The city is harsh but full of materials if you're creative. Adapt and improvise with what you find. Your goal? Stay dry, hidden, and safe for the night. Urban shelter is temporary. Move as needed. Creativity and adaptability are your best tools. The first night out, especially when you're venturing into the wilderness, can be a real test. It's a crucible where your planning meets reality. Is when new preppers, often full of enthusiasm but short on experience, tend to make the most mistakes. These errors can range from minor inconveniences to potentially life-threatening situations. Underestimating the cold is a common and potentially dangerous oversight. Damp, wind, and fatigue. These elements can quickly combine to create a hazardous situation. Can bring hypothermia fast even in temperatures that might not seem that extreme. Don't skimp on ground insulation. It's your barrier against the Earth's chill. Or build a shelter too large to warm. The bigger the space, the more energy it takes to maintain a comfortable temperature. Always choose more insulation, even if it seems excessive. A smaller shelter and wind protection. Blocking the wind is crucial for retaining heat. Poor site selection is another pitfall that can lead to discomfort and danger. Avoid low ground where cold air and moisture tend to accumulate. Expose spots which offer little protection from the elements or areas too close to water, as they can be prone to flooding and increased humidity. Take time to find a safe, well-drained, sheltered location. A little extra scouting can make a huge difference. Panic leads to bad decisions. It clouds your judgment and makes you more likely to make mistakes. Use the STOP method. Stop, think, observe, plan. This simple acronym can help you regain control in stressful situations. Break tasks into steps, find a spot, gather materials, build shelter. Overestimating your gear or skills is risky. It can lead you to attempt things beyond your capabilities. Keep it simple and stick to basics. Master the fundamentals before trying anything fancy. Don't try to build something complex and run out of daylight. Time management is key to a successful first night. Focus on proven designs like a lean-to or tarp A-frame. These are reliable and relatively easy to construct. A basic functional shelter beats a half-finished elaborate one. Prioritize functionality over aesthetics. Humility and honest self-assessment are vital. Know your limits and plan accordingly. Remember, survival is about fundamentals, not fancy gear. A sharp knife and a warm blanket are often more valuable than the latest gadget. Learn from mistakes in practice, not in a real emergency. Practice in a controlled environment to build confidence and skills. Stay calm, stay focused, and adapt as needed. The wilderness is unpredictable, so be prepared to adjust your plans. The right mindset and preparation make all the difference. They are the foundation of a safe and enjoyable experience. Avoid these pitfalls, and your first night will be much safer. A successful first night builds confidence for future adventures. Survival is about smart choices, not luck. Rely on your knowledge, skills, and preparation to overcome challenges. Reading about survival isn't enough. Practice is essential. Use your backyard or a local park to test your shelter building skills. Don't wait for disaster to find out your tarp leaks or your knots fail. Practice builds confidence and turns theory into real ability. Set challenges. Build with natural materials, then with a tarp and cordage. Try it in different weather: rain, wind, cold. Spend a night in your shelter to see what works. Involve your family, teach them the basics and let them help. This builds skills and reduces fear in real emergencies. Keep a small shelter kit in your car or bag: blanket, tarp, cord, cutting tool. Practice using your kit so you know its strengths and limits. The more you practice, the faster and better you'll get. You don't need to be an expert, just competent. Prepare yourself, not just your gear. Your life could depend on it. Mindset is as critical as any gear or shelter. Stay calm. Panic wastes energy and clouds judgment. Acknowledge fear, then focus on what you can control. Adaptability is key. Things rarely go as planned. Improvise, adjust, and see challenges as puzzles, not barriers. Every small success builds confidence. Maintain hope. Focus on surviving the next hour, then the next. If you're with others, support each other and share tasks. Teamwork lightens the load and boosts morale. If alone, remind yourself why you want to survive. Motivation fuels resilience. Accept discomfort, it's temporary. Don't waste energy complaining, use it to improve your situation. Work on your shelter, gather insulation, plan your next steps. A strong will and a calm head are your best assets. Survival is about refusing to give up. Embrace the challenge. That's the true survivor's mindset. Shelter is your foundation in any survival situation. It's not gear or food that saves you first. It's protection from the elements. Without shelter, your ability to think and act fades fast. Exposure is swift and unforgiving. Make shelter your top priority in planning and practice. Whether it's a cave, debris hut, urban hideaway, or tarp, that barrier is your lifeline. Adapt, improvise, and practice before you need it. Avoid mistakes, test your setups, and keep a positive, problem-solving attitude. Don't wait for disaster. Make shelter skills a cornerstone now. When the first night falls, your knowledge and ability to create a safe haven are priceless. Shelter first. Shelter always. Your life may depend on it. Stay safe out there. Safe.